So the new year is here, and with that comes some big changes to my credit card strategy. So in this video, I want to go over the 5 key things I'm focusing on with credit cards in 2023, including the fact that I just got approved for one new credit card that I really like, but then I also just got denied for another really popular card. So I'll explain exactly what happened and what my plan is in just a minute. Now, to help give some background and context, first I also want to give you all a quick recap of what I did in 2022. So to start off, my strategy for the first half of last year was basically to use 3 existing credit cards I had for most of my purchases because of the unique way they were earning points. Now, I just quit my job at the end of 2021, so I didn't want to open any new cards because I was keeping my expenses as low as possible, and I didn't think I could hit any higher minimum spend requirements for new welcome bonuses. So instead of getting any new cards for the first 6 months of last year, I just had my Chase Freedom Flex that was earning 9x points per dollar at grocery stores, and it was earning that in the first quarter because of the way my welcome bonus of 5x back on groceries for 1 year stacked with groceries as one of the rotating 5x quarterly categories. But then I was also earning 6x points per dollar on my Amex Blue Business Plus because of a referral bonus that was active. So that was 2x base points on that card plus an additional 4x points per dollar on everything for a few months. I also got a retention offer on my Amex Platinum card in early 2022 where they were giving me 40,000 points after spending $3,000. So with all those things combined, those 3 cards were being used for almost all of my spending in the first half of last year. Now, once I got to the end of June in 2022, I decided it was time to add some new cards to my wallet, specifically Chase cards first because I was at 324 and I wanted to round out my 524 status before moving on to other issuers. So I got the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card in June, mostly for the sign-up bonus of 75,000 Chase points after spending $7,500. Now, since most business cards like this one do not count towards my 524 status, I was still at 324, so in late July I added the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless for the sign-up bonus it had for 5 free nights worth up to 50,000 Marriott points each. Then in September, I finally worked my way up to 524 when I got approved for the Chase World of Hyatt card, and I got that card to use for purchasing my fiance's engagement ring. So I was able to earn some valuable Hyatt points that I later redeemed for a cool trip in 2023 that we'll talk about later on. Also, to finish up the year, in October, I got one more personal credit card with the City Custom Cash, which I plan to use long term as my gas card to lock in getting 5% back on gas. And in October, I also added one more business credit card with the Amazon Prime Business, which works really well for all the random purchases I make on Amazon. So now I get 5% back on all of that for my business. But now with that background, let's focus on my 2023 credit card strategy because to start the year, I just got denied for one card and then approved for another. So the card I was approved for was the Built MasterCard, and then the card I was denied for was none other than the Capital One Venture X. So let me explain how those 2 cards are shaping the 5 things I'm focusing on in my 2023 plan. Now, I was gonna get the Capital One Venture X in late 2022 or early 2023 because, as many of you know, I have a wedding coming up in a little bit over a year, so my fiance and I are starting to book vendors, and with certain vendors, if they don't charge you any extra fees, then I want to use a good credit card that'll give me a solid return on spend. So because the Capital One Venture X has a current sign-up bonus of 75,000 miles worth at least $750 or more after spending $4,000, this seemed like the perfect card to get for those upcoming wedding vendor payments. Now, to be honest, I don't 100% need the Venture X because I do have some other really great premium travel credit cards like the Amex Platinum card, but with that sign-up bonus and then the $300 travel credit and the 10,000 mile anniversary bonus, the Venture X is still easily a no-brainer for me to have. Now, I've got a full review on the Venture X that I'll link to down below if you want to learn more, but also to be fully transparent as a content creator talking about credit cards, I've made video guides for other points currencies on how to redeem points for max value, which have gotten me a ton of views and people seem to like. So of course I wanted to do a similar video for Capital One Miles, which just gave me another good reason to have this card. Now, the problem I had and the mistake that I ended up making, which I think led to that denial, was that I wanted to get this card as soon as possible for those wedding vendors, but I also had 3 new revolving credit card accounts open in the last 6 months on my credit report with the Bonvoy Boundless, the World of Hyatt card, and the City Custom Cash. My total personal credit card accounts on my credit report was also at 10 accounts when I applied for the Venture X. So when I got the letter from Capital One explaining why I was not approved, it said, based on your credit report from one or more of the agencies on the back of this letter, there are too many revolving accounts. So basically their algorithm probably saw those recent accounts along with my 10 personal cards and just automatically denied me, even though plenty of other people with similar applications have been approved when I looked around online. I actually came across an article on the Thrifty Traveler where the author said they got a similar denial despite everything saying they should have been approved, but then they applied after a couple of months and got approved on the second try. So whatever the case is, maybe it's just the time of the year where Capital One is being really strict for extending new credit or something like that, but I do really want the Venture X, so for the next 4 to 6 months or so, I'm just gonna wait and then not apply for any new credit card accounts, and that's gonna be the first out of the 5 things that I'm focusing on with my 2023 credit card strategy. 2023. I'll keep an eye on my credit score, continue practicing good habits, and see what else I can do to get approved on my second attempt later on this year. But sometimes credit card denials are just a part of the game that we have to deal with, even though this actually was my first denial. Now, before going 4 to 6 months without applying for any new credit cards, I still had one more card that I wanted to add. And like I said before, that was the Bilt MasterCard, which I was approved for about a week after getting denied for the Venture X. So with the Bilt card, this goes along with the second thing that I'm focusing on, specifically over the first half of 2023, and that is optimizing all of my spending categories. Normally, it feels like I'm always working on hitting a minimum spend on a new credit card to get a welcome bonus, and typically when I do that, I'm just putting all of my spending on that one new card to reach that bonus because of the high return on spend, so I'm not really using a different card for every category. But since I'm not working on any bonus for a while, I'm gonna be rotating through my existing credit cards by using one card for each specific category like gas, groceries, and dining, and now rent too, which is where the Bilt MasterCard comes into play. Now, the way the Bilt card works, in case you didn't know, is that this card allows you to earn 1 point per dollar when you use it to pay rent, and the only reason this card is so good with that is because it waives the typical 2 to 4% credit card fees that you pay with any other credit card for rent. The only catch is you need to have at least 5 transactions with the Bilt card every billing cycle, but paying rent counts as one of those 5. And since the card also gets 2x points on travel and 3x points on dining, this is gonna be what I'm calling my coffee card that I'll carry with me. So I like to work from coffee shops when I can during the day, and what I'm gonna do is instead of getting 4x points on my Amex Gold, I'm just gonna get 3x points on this Bilt card, and I'm totally fine with earning just slightly less on my coffee purchases because first of all, Bilt has some amazing transfer partners like Hyatt and American Airlines, but I'm also gonna earn way more points by using this card to pay for rent now too, so I'm excited that the Bilt card has come along and allows people to do this. Now, I'm gonna make a full review video on the Bilt MasterCard, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe down below so you can check that out later, and I'll also leave a link down below if you wanna learn more about this card for yourself. Now, that brings me to the third thing I'm focusing on with my 2023 credit card plan, and that is developing my 2-player credit card strategy between me and my fiance. Now, Jackie has not been as big into the whole credit card game as me. She kind of just lets me do my thing to earn points and then find ways to research and redeem those points for flights and hotel stays over the past few years, but I've been slowly guiding her so she can now get the right credit cards as well, so we can basically double our points earning potential going forward. Now, the 2-player credit card strategy can be really powerful if it's done the right way. So right now she only has 4 cards, and maybe I'll do a combined what's in our wallets video in the next few weeks to go over exactly what we're both using. But right now she has the Chase Sapphire Preferred already, and last month she got approved for the Chase Freedom Flex. So probably next I'll have her finish up the Chase Trifecta with the Freedom Unlimited, and then after that I'll talk to her and we'll see what we want to do. Also, a quick side note on the Freedom Flex, but she got the same welcome bonus I did where she gets 20,000 Chase points plus 5x back on groceries for her first year. And then grocery stores are one of the rotating 5x categories in Q1 of 2023. So we'll be using her Freedom Flex card to pay for groceries to start the year because we'll get 9x back. And that's from 1x base points per dollar plus 4x points on rotating categories and 4x points in the first year welcome bonus. So I know that's kind of weird, but that's how it all stacks up together to get 9x points per dollar on groceries. I could also have her apply for some really good cards as a way to earn bigger sign-up bonuses when we're going to pay wedding vendors. So I don't know what cards those could be just yet, but I also plan to add her as an authorized user on my Amex Platinum card for $175 per year, which is going to give her a global entry or TSA pre-check credit, as well as access to the Amex Centurion lounges. Whenever we're traveling, she's been coming as my guest to those airport lounges because of my Platinum card, but starting in February this year, Amex is going to be charging $50 per guest to those Centurion lounges. So for us traveling the number of times we expect, it just makes sense to add her as an authorized user. But okay, now for the fourth thing I'm focusing on with my credit card strategy in 2023, and that's going to be adding 1 or maybe 2 other cards in the second half of this year. So obviously, I already said I'm going for a second attempt at the Capital One Venture X, but after that, I'm not looking to add too many new cards right now. The only other one I can definitely say I want is the Schwab version of the Amex Platinum card, and the only reason I want that is so I have more options when it comes to redeeming my Amex points. Basically, the Schwab Platinum gives cardholders the option to redeem points at a rate of 1.1 cents per point for cash into their Schwab brokerage account, and this is way better than the typical 0.6 cents per point you get when you cash out points otherwise with Amex membership rewards. Basically, for every 100,000 points, instead of getting $600 for cash, I'd be able to get $1,100 if I want to, and of course, I still prefer to redeem my points for travel because I can find ways to get maybe 2 to 6 cents per point or even higher. But for me and my YouTube channel, I actually earn a good amount of Amex points from Rakuten for referrals, so sometimes I might want to redeem for cash or at least have that option. And by the way, thank you all for using my affiliate links in 2022. I'm going to continue leaving them down below, and those are truly the best way to support this channel completely for free while also hopefully getting something in return that's valuable for yourself. I'm planning to reinvest even more into this channel with video editors and stuff like that in in 2023. So again, thank you all for supporting this channel with those links. Now I do already have the regular vanilla Amex Platinum as well, and I do plan to keep that open and not cancel it. And the only reason for that, again, to be fully transparent, is because of the referrals I get with that card to offset the cost. Having one Amex Platinum is still a good fit for me, even without those referrals, but two of these cards only works because of my unique situation, and I'll make an updated review of this card sometime soon as well. But outside of hopefully getting the Schwab Platinum, I may just apply for another business credit card or two if there's any good deals going on. And actually, by the beginning of 2024, I could possibly end up back under the Chase 524 rule, and at that time, I'll be past the 48-month rule as well for new Sapphire card bonuses, so I may end up looking into downgrading my Sapphire Preferred into a Freedom card, and then applying for a new Sapphire Preferred to get another sign-up bonus, but that's still a long way into the future, so we'll see how the year plays out. Now finally, for the fifth thing I'm focusing on in 2023 with my credit card strategy, and this is the really fun part, which is redeeming even more of my credit card points that I've been saving up for travel. So I want to travel even more this year with my fiance, and even a little bit on my own since I can work remotely from anywhere and I have a lot of places that I want to see. I personally still prefer travel over cash back when it comes to my credit cards, and that's because I want to travel anyway, so I might as well use my points and miles to greatly reduce my travel expenses for things like flights and hotels. Now already my fiance and I booked a trip to Europe this coming fall where we got some amazing value for my Amex points. So there was a transfer bonus promotion going on between American Express and Air France the other month, so I was able to turn 88,000 Amex points plus $400 in taxes and fees into 2 late flight business class seats on Air France, which would have otherwise cost over $6,800, so that comes out to around 7.3 cents per point. We'll travel around Europe for a little under 2 weeks, going to Paris, London, Amsterdam, and Lisbon, but then we also just planned a trip out to Napa Valley where we're gonna stay at a Category 8 Hyatt property, the Alila Napa Valley, which I transferred a bunch of Chase points over to Hyatt to book. The cash price was around $4,657, but we used 110,000 Chase points to book it, and that comes out to around 4.2 cents per point in value, which is pretty good for a luxury hotel redemption, and we've really wanted to stay here for a while. We'll probably also try to go somewhere warm and tropical if we can, but let me know down in the comment section below where else I should travel to either in the US or in Europe in 2023 if you have any recommendations. Now, if you're looking to do something similar to what I'm doing with travel and credit cards for yourself, you're gonna need two things. First, you need a good credit score to get approved for the best credit cards, so go check out the 5 steps to growing your credit score in this video over here. But you also need to know how to climb the credit card ladder if you want those top tier travel credit cards like I like to use, so go check out that video over here to learn more. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.